This week in the field, I go out to Torrey Pines Beach in search of leading lines. Hey everyone, I'm Scott Davenport and welcome to In the Field. Thanks for joining me today. Before I take you out to Torrey Pines Beach, I've got a couple of spaces left in the Death Valley workshop coming up in February of 2018. If you'd like to come with me and a bunch of your fellow photographers to Death Valley, we're going to be out there for several days, 5 days I think, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. There's a lot of very unique types of photographs you can get in Death Valley you just can't get anywhere else on Earth. So if you're interested, check it out on my website and I hope you'll join us. So Torrey Pines Beach, I like this place, and I went to a section of the beach that I hadn't been in quite a while, and I went to meet up with my buddy Spencer Pablo. He and I started a podcast, and so we're going to do some recording after we each went off and did some individual shoots. I hiked down to the base of the cliffs, and I actually took a whole lot of footage on this outing, and so as opposed to me just talking about it, I'm just going to show you the whole thing, and then come back and pretty much wrap things up. I've come out to the Torrey Pines glider port, actually. It has a path that winds its way down between the bluffs down to the ocean. Not too much happening in the sky today, but I came out here because I'm after kind of a long north to south sweep along the ocean. So I'm not sure which direction I'm going to shoot, north or south, but there's going to be a nice leading line that gets built by those waves. At least that's my thinking. I'm even thinking of portrait orientation once I get down there. But I got to start hiking because I got about an hour before the sun gets to that marine layer that's out there and the light starts to get nice and soft. All right, well, I just finished coming down the tail end of this stairwell you see behind me. And, you know, if you're ever going to go hiking down to the beach, try not to pick a day when it's about 98 degrees. Unusually warm October afternoon today. And I'm just hoping it's going to be cooler when I go back up this monster. I'm at the base of the cliffs here, looking to the north, and not really in love with some of the sweeps of land I'm seeing. There's also a lot more beachgoers here. Pan down here to the south, I kind of like what's around that curve. I actually need to be a little bit careful with the camera. This is one of the areas in San Diego where nude sunbathing is okay, and before you get all excited, it's usually not people you necessarily want to see without a bathing suit. But I just need to be particular about not taking any camera out of the bag or anything until I've really found that sweep of land that I want. So this is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. You can see behind me, you got the cliffs, and there's a good stretch of beach there. Very few people right now, that helps, and the waves coming up, making a leading line. I'm thinking portrait orientation for this. I think I might have mentioned that on my hike down. But now I need to do a little bit more scouting. I'm happy with coming down to the south. It is a bit of a lower tide than I thought might be at the base of the cliff, so that'll be a little bit of a challenge for me to get enough of the water and the cliffs in the shot. Might mean another 10 minutes walk down to the south here. But we're gonna start setting up and see what we can make of this place. So I've stepped out into the very shallow surf, and the reason for that is so I can shoot a little bit back toward the land. So as that water rises in, it kind of draws me back in toward the cliffs. And again, I'm going to frame this up vertically. There's a really nice reflection of the nice orange sandstone and the sheen of the beach here. And so long as I don't get too strong of a wave, I'll be able to do half second, 1 second if I need it, because the sand will stay stable. But even with this little tiny bit of surf, as soon as that hits the legs of the tripod, it will shift. All right, so how are we set up here? F16, got the polarizer on the front, getting a nice wave. So I'm going to steady the camera, hit one shot. I'm only dialing about 1/6 of a second, so I can hit a few of them as that wave recedes out. Now the tripod is shifting a little bit. You can see those currents wrapping around those legs. That's enough for the sand to shift. So if I were doing long exposures, forget about it. It's just not going to happen. But with these short 1/6 of a second, that's okay. That blur is going to be all right. Everything's going to look just fine. All right, just about finished up. I just stepped farther and farther out into the surf, so you can kind of see what happens here. As I get farther and farther out, we get more and more of that reflection. And I had to keep chasing the tide slowly rolling outwards. So I ended up, something that you see kind of in the middle of this frame, and then it's just waiting for a wave, like this one. Comes in from the lower right, matches up with the reflection coming in the lower left. But I was shooting portrait orientation, just a little bit different, something I don't do as often. And yeah, it's been a really nice evening. that's going to do it for today. I'm just going to stand back and enjoy the rest of this sunset. See, there's not much happening out there, and at this particular beach, there's very little in terms of foreground. So I get to put the camera away now, just enjoy a sunset, and then hike back up to the top of these cliffs. Yeah, I really do hope it gets colder. After I did the shoot and I reviewed some of the photos, one of the things I had in the back of my head was with my minimal project and doing black and whites, I really didn't find any photos I was happy with that were black and white in nature. They just didn't work there. But the softer palettes of the colors, and even before the sun had kind of gone down, I liked what I had. So I've processed one of them. I shared this on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, or at least the smaller version of it, and I like it. And I did do the processing in a way to tone down the colors, make it a little more muted, a little more faded, kind of end of summer and type of thing. I'm happy with how it turned out. For the tip of the week, besides not going for a massive hike in 98-degree weather, is leading lines, but specifically for a seascape type shot where you've got some type of reflection of land on one side of the frame and then the ocean coming in from the other side of the frame, trying to play those off one another so you get almost a crossing point. You have different lines leading in from either of, say, the bottom corners, and if you've got some reflections working there, you can get almost like an X going through your scene. A lot of visual interest for your viewer, and it keeps their eye in the frame longer. And that will do it for today's In the Field episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, let me know somehow. Comments on the video are great. Social shares, always appreciated. And if you've got questions about photography, hit me up, questions in the video below, or you can reach me directly through my website, and I usually turn answers around in a day or so. Well, until next time, my name is Scott Davenport. Happy shooting.